Hello, writers and teachers. Yes, second graders, you are teachers because you have been teaching your classmates and Mrs. Clark, Mrs. Richard, and myself about your topic. You are an expert on your topic, and we have learned a great deal from you. We are finishing our information book. Some of you are finishing your first information book. Some of you are finishing your second information book. Regardless, this week, each day you write, I want you to set a goal. I have included the information second grade checklist for you in the slide deck so that you can think about what goal you're setting each day. Some of you need to set a goal to finish a chapter. Some of you need to write that introduction. Others may want to set a goal to write a conclusion. No matter the case, I want you to try really hard to set a goal and stick to it. Today, I'm going to show you a possible goal that you might want to set, and that falls under elaboration on our checklist. I'm going to model for you how I wrote some steps and how I also used some domain specific vocabulary to get my teaching across to my reader. So, this is something that you can do perhaps as a revision, meaning going back and looking at a chapter and changing it a little bit or rewriting it a little bit. Or maybe all you have to do is put steps in. Let's take a look at mine, and maybe that will give you an idea of how you can make your writing better. My chapter is called Chapter 4 Laundry. And you see that I have written and that I've also um, included a diagram that tells how to scrub out a stain. I don't know about you, but I like to start with the diagrams. When I read a nonfiction book, I enjoy looking at the pictures first. This one says, pro tip, let the stain remover soak into the fabric before scrubbing. All right, so let's take a look at how I wrote this chapter. I started with a question and then I wrote steps. It goes like this. You might think that scrubbing out a stain is as easy as rub, rub, rub. But did you ever think about what really has to happen for that to work? Step one, when you wet the fabric, the water begins to loosen up the dirt. Step two, then when you cover the stain with detergent or stain remover, it absorbs into the fabric and begins to emulsify or penetrate or sink into the cloth and break up the stain. Step three, finally, as you quickly rub a scrub brush against the cloth, the friction loosens up the dirt. So, boys and girls, I did put steps, and I think sometimes steps are interesting because they help your reader know that how many steps there are, and it helps your reader know that they don't have to read as much. It also helps your reader because they can do step one, and if they don't understand step one, they can practice it a little more before they go on to step two. And then once they get step two down, then they can go on to step three. Now, my steps tell how to remove a stain. But some of you could write steps about how to hit a softball, or how to do a cartwheel, or how to dribble a soccer ball, or how to play defense in football. Your movement topics lend themselves to steps. So you could go back today and look in a chapter and think about um, putting steps in with numbers if you are teaching your readers something that goes step by step. The other thing I want to point out in my writing is that I did use a big word called emulsify, and notice that right after it, I put a couple of dashes. That's what information writers do. The dashes say, just a second. What's coming next is a definition. Writers do that to let you know that if you don't know that word, hey, hold on a second. Here is the definition of what that word means. And I actually used two definitions. I said emulsify means to penetrate, And then if you weren't sure what penetrate meant, I did what our friend Nora did the other day and used those parentheses and let you know that to penetrate or to emulsify means to sink into. So, a goal for you today might be to include some steps in that final chapter, or a goal might be to include a very important word to your topic, then add a couple dashes and tell us what it means. Look at the checklist, decide what a great goal for you is, and go get writing.